Welcome everybody to a new installment of Fem Talk Tuesday. I have Tracy Randolph, the Reset Coach, right here on the screen with me, and I am Brandy the Disconnected, and we are two of the four hosts of Fem Talk. So without further ado, let's bring in our sister queens. Tracy, what amazing news do you have for us this week? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Let's bring in Melissa Mimi, girl bossed up.
Hey, hello.
Hello, Mimi. And we've got Shima, she talks. Woo-woo.
Hey, Fem Talkers.
Yes.
Hey.
So y'all, I'm having an amazing week so far. I know it's only Tuesday, but why not just set the pace for the rest of the week, right?
Is that the dog co-signing your amazing week right there?
I think that's Queenie in the background.
That's Queenie.
Oh, okay. We'll take any cosign. We good.
All right. Listen, everybody, for our guests backstage and for everybody out there watching, this is real life.
Pretty much. You're gonna hear the train. You'll probably hear the doorbell. It's just happening.
But y'all, before we get started on here, we actually have an announcement to be made by Miss Shima. So then drop it on the screen.
Since we are hosting these wonderful ladies from We Next, we wanted to let you know that there is a second cohort that is in the works right now. That is the meeting this Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. The women, I believe, have to be in their 20s. So if you know someone who wants to be a part of this program, who wants to help this program, contribute, donate, work, whatever, please give them the information and have them come on the call. They'll hear some good information. They'll meet some wonderful people, and hopefully we'll work together. That's
yeah. That's going to be 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. It's not actually 13 hours.
a.m. I am so bad with the AM. That one is AM.
AM,
girl.
So you have to get up.
To drop that flyer and the link in the Facebook page as well. So y'all already know how we start off the show. We got this week's hot topic. So without further ado, play our little bumper. Here we go. And we got a cool one for you that is actually it made my heart smile just a little bit when I saw it. Because we found a little known story about Julia Roberts. She was born to parents that couldn't afford the hospital bills, and the hospital bills were actually paid by Martin Luther King Jr. and his wife Coretta Scott King. Sorry, Martin Luther King Jr. and his wife Coretta Scott King. So they dropped this story on CNN a little bit earlier this week. Actually, it was updated today. So I'm going to just read the story as it appears in print here. So a previously little known fact about Julia Roberts is now more widely known thanks to social media, which we are on right now. Thank you, social media. And it all started recently when a Twitter user shared a compilation video of Roberts writing Martin Luther King Jr. paying for her birth is still a little known fact that sends me. So a few days later, in honor of Roberts' 55th birthday on October 28th, consultant Zara Rahim tweeted a clip of Roberts sharing the story about her birth with journalist Gayle King, no relation to Dr. King. Roberts explained that Dr. King and his wife, Coretta Scott King, took care of the hospital expenses since her parents couldn't pay the bill. My parents had a theater school in Atlanta called the Actors and Writers Workshop, Roberts said. And one day, Coretta Scott King called my mother and asked if her kids could be part of the school because they were having a hard time finding a place that would accept her kids. Robert's mother said sure, and thus began the friendship between the civil rights leaders and Walter and Betty Lou Roberts. That led to the Kings paying for the birth of the woman who would go on to become an international star. They helped us out of a jam, Julia Roberts said. So that just makes my heart smile because there are things that paying it forward isn't a new thing. Acts of kindness isn't a new thing. But this story shows it's been going on for a long time, and it's something that we've embraced in our community forever, for as long as I can remember at least. And it's a reminder, like if you're there, help. If you can't help, find somebody who can. Like
That's right.
There's lots of people that want to pay it forward and just need those situations and circumstances to assist with.
Yeah. And to think in that time, right, that her parents said that they would allow their kids to come to the school. I mean, we know what time period that was, right? So even for them to, mix the cultures, right, and the races in that theater school, that was huge, in and of itself. And then for Dr. King and Coretta Scott King to pay that forward and say, we're going to help you out. And then look at the star that Julia Roberts is today. But I wonder why that story didn't come out previously, right? I mean, this is so many years later, and I'm just hearing about this. This is the first time I've heard of that.
Yeah, I've never heard of it either.
Yeah, I never heard of it either. And Julia Roberts, I mean, honestly, is one of my favorite actresses. And it just speaks to her heritage, her parents, who they are. I always, how you see people and they're one way and I wonder how they really are, when everything is gone or not gone, but, behind the closed doors kind of thing. And it just speaks to who she is, her parents are. And I think she didn't tell anybody because why tell anybody? Because they would make something of it. I think she probably didn't want to be a name dropper, Right. Yeah. And people who talk about her say that she has that type of spirit anyway. Like we wouldn't know. They don't really show that she's never done any reality show or life in the, behind the scenes. But when they talk about her and how genuine she is, that speaks to that type of person, that behavior. So she got it.
You can see why now, right? Just from the story of her parents. I said you can see why now just from the story.
Humble.
Yeah.
What I find interesting is that some of the most humble members of Hollywood, or just the upper echelon, however you want to refer to it, they do move in silence. Just look at Denzel Washington. You don't see major headlines about Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
You don't see major headlines about Viola Davis. You don't see major headlines about Cicely Tyson and the like, because those genuine folks, it's like you only make noise in Hollywood if you're doing something negative.
Yeah.
Right.
And so all the wonderful, kind, amazing individuals that are in Hollywood as well kind of slide under the radar. But
right. Crazy.
And there's so many of them. I love it.
Yeah.
So that's it for today's hot topic, y'all. Before we move into things, we want to take a chance to see what Coach Tracy.
No, go ahead. I think you're gonna go. I'm gonna remind you.
You're gonna say
Listen to introduce the young ladies in the background that are joining us for tonight's show.
Oh no! Well, I wanted to give
before
the opportunity to mention what she wanted to mention about what we need to do this week and next week.
Yes, vote. Wanted to do a shout out for voting. As many people know, voting has already started in many states. There's early voting in many states. If you're one of those states that can do early voting, go out there and vote. Our voice is crucial in this election. As you have seen, the overturning of Roe versus Wade it has been waiting for years for those votes to add up to do that. And going forward, whoever comes into office come January 1st is going to be based on our vote. And all of these things are at stake.
Yeah.
Our economy is at stake. This environment's at stake. Inflation's at stake. You name it's at stake. But I want people to get out there and vote. I'm not going to tell anybody how to vote, but do your homework. There's so much false information out there. There's so many clips. They're taking clips of what a little piece of what somebody said and making it the shout out for the moment. Do your own homework, find out who people are, and vote. Our vote, one vote matters. Absolutely. It matters. Right.
Absolutely. And I just want to stress too that these votes are for the larger of the votes, right, are for Senate and Congress, which we know, right, have to do with everything about changing laws and affecting our lives directly when it comes to federal law. So please get out there and vote. I actually have to register in North Carolina, everybody. So
what do you mean you have to register? You better be registered already. Let's go, sis.
I'm not registered in North Carolina, but I got the form. I'm going to do that now. I know where I have to go, so I'm going to do that. And we'll be voting this week, not next week, this week.
That's right.
Yeah.
Early voting. Perfect. Get out there and do it. Wow. So let's start the show. We are going to talk about these amazing women. This Tuesday is We Next Tuesday. And we have some powerhouse young 20-something-year-olds in the background. I hope they're eating chips and talking and getting their makeup ready and their hair ready so they can be on camera, so they can tell you all about this wonderful program, all that they've done and learned, all the fun, all the life-changing events that happened. And then we're going to talk about what they are going to do next. So without further ado, we have it might be some extra people because, background is funny here. Shantae, Lenora, Clarissa, Cameron, and I believe we may have one more. Do we have one more?
Nope, this is it.
Okay. But these are the We Next girls. Please give them a round of applause. Wave. Green. How are you girls doing tonight?
Doing pretty great.
Good, very good. Happy to be here.
Good.
Yes.
I'm so happy to see those faces. I love those faces.
They're all so beautiful.
I know. Inside and out. I can attest. So, ladies, welcome to Fem Talk. Let's jump right into everything. Tell me, let's learn a little bit about each of you. We're going to cut it short. This is only an hour show. We told you you're going to get off early. So you got like a minute to tell us a little bit about each of you. We're going to go on the screen. Clarissa, go ahead and start.
Hello, everyone. I'm Clarissa Mitchell. I am an entrepreneur, project manager, strategist. I love being involved in projects. I love people. I love travel. And I love personal development and being able to enact some change in each community that I'm involved in.
Wonderful. That was wonderful. You're up next, Lenora.
Hello, everyone on Fem Talk. My name is Lenora Stewart. I am now 23 years old and a recent graduate of the University of Albany. Just got my master's in social work. And so I am a social worker now and about to be studying to become licensed. But yeah, big things ahead.
Great. That was great. All right, Shantae, you're next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shantae Doran. I am 26. I'm currently an auditor and I work for the city of Philadelphia. I have a cute little 3-year-old who's also sassy and as my best friend. Everyone loves her. I love her. And I love to make a difference in the world as well, like Clarissa said.
Wonderful. All right, Miss Cameron, you are up.
Hi, everybody. My name is Cameron. I am 28 years old. I am from North Carolina, but currently reside in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, very close to Washington, D.C. And I work for Radio One. I do marketing and sales for a living. And I, as well, love to make a difference.
Wonderful. It is
I just have
great.
to say this to Cameron because she sounds like she already needs to be on a show, a radio show.
I'm more behind the scenes. That's funny because a lot of people do say that.
Hey, I got dragged from behind the scenes myself.
On the first show, right? The very first time, we were like, why don't you stay?
That's funny.
God, it's so good to have you ladies here. I just want you to be relaxed. This is a very open show. We talk about anything and everything, but we do want you to tell us about We Next and how you got involved. I don't want to bombard you with a whole lot of it, but how you got involved and how the program went for you. And anybody can start.
Don't be shy.
Don't hesitate.
I don't mind
Right
starting.
Okay.
So We Next. Well, I mean, Dr. D is very close and dear to my heart and my family. And so I know whenever Dr. D comes, I know she's coming with some kind of new idea whenever she's visiting up here in Connecticut. And so it's almost like she just sneaks it in on you real quick. Like, oh, I've been thinking about starting this new thing and I want you to be involved. And so with Dr. D, you just can't say no. It's like, okay, sure, whatever you have for me. And so when she told me about the program, I was super excited. I mean, I've heard her talk about Kenya for years now. So to think she wants to bring me across the world to go meet other ladies my age that are also trying to make an impact in their community, I was excited and ready to hit the ground running. So it was a yes for me right away.
And me too. I have to say, you are right. When she puts something in your spirit or in your mind or in your lap, it's very seldom you say, no, I can't, or I don't want to. So you're like, okay, whatever you have for me to do. I'm glad you guys said yes. I'm glad you said yes. Anybody else?
I got started. I learned about the program in 2019. Dr. D had this idea. It came to me, and we got the planning done. I like doing planning, project management. Doing the behind the scenes work. I don't like being in front of the camera, but we're testing it out. And from then on, we just started planning, collecting information, travel, background stuff. I love leadership development. I love personal development. I love education. And my big dream was to be an international business consultant and leadership trainer. So it kind of just worked out pretty well.
Wow.
Look at that.
And you look
Just
great on camera.
I was gonna say you have
You do.
your one of your coaches that just said how much she loves you guys, Miss Aminata, Coach Aminata. I'm not sure if you saw that. Beautiful ladies.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Hey.
Yeah. Hi, Coach Army.
But yeah, my story is very similar to Lenora's. Dr. D is very close with my family, my mom specifically. They're really close friends. And so I actually am a part of a sorority, Delta Sigma Theta. And she had told me, and she's like, Cameron, I know you're a part of a sisterhood already, but I have an idea and I really want you to be a part of it. We're going to do more service and some change in the community. And I think you'd be a great fit. So I was like, I couldn't say no. And I really loved her vision. So that's how I joined the team.
Wonderful.
Me next.
Sure.
So I joined in 2015 as well. Dr. D's daughter Dion, who introduced me to We Next. Dion, since we were little, running track, so out about everything. I went to the meetings. I learned a little more info, and I couldn't say I loved to develop my leadership skills. I love being in the neighborhood, all things of that sort, and being able to travel to Kenya was a bonus. I do love to learn. Yes, was the answer.
Well, this Fem Talk family, our viewers, and of course our hosts, already know a lot about you guys and what you've done. The three of you are the second batch of mentees that went to Kenya. Lenora and two others went the first time. So, Lenora, can you tell us a little bit about your experience, and then we're going to let them talk a little bit about theirs.
Sure. Well, I mean, it was so enjoyable. Of course, it was, upsetting with everything that happened and with COVID and other travel things that makes it difficult for people to go across the world at this time. So it was, of course, upsetting to not go with the whole crew after we've all gone through this together. But I was excited. I know, Dr. D wouldn't leave anybody out. So I knew she would have something set up for them later on to go over into Kenya to complete the mission as well. But going in with Kayla and Dion, I mean, I know we were all excited, but it's also nerve-wracking. We're going into another country, and we've only seen these ladies online and done like a little bit of work with them. And most often, there wasn't a lot of good connection over like a Zoom call. So we were really going to be meeting these young ladies for kind of the first time, like in person, really, because the connection just really wasn't great. And then texting, it was just all difficult. So it was, really nerve-wracking, but also very exciting. And so when we first got there, I mean, Masai Tribe greeted us with open arms. They were so loving, and it was just really a wonderful community to join across the world. It's so completely different from what I've experienced over here in the US. And so the love that was shared and just the family feeling that was shared over in Kenya was just amazing. And Uncle Ben being out there, again, so welcoming. I felt so completely safe and secure, and just kind of like it was really a home away from home being over in Kenya. And so to connect with the girls in person, I mean, we were dancing together and singing and laughing, and then also kind of building our own, personal skills and leadership skills together. It was just really an amazing experience. And I'm all about connection to me is really big. And so to be able to connect with someone from, across the world was just really dear to my heart. And so we spent a lot of time with the girls, and even something that really stood out when we brought them over to the resort or hotel we were staying at, and to see their faces as they looked around, almost as if like they've never been in that kind of environment. That was something that so totally blessed me. And I was so glad that we were able to do something for them, just as simple as that, giving them a hotel room to stay in. And then to see the aggregate open up and how excited they were about that. I mean, it was all just so amazing. The experience was just really wonderful.
It absolutely was. Yeah. Aminata says Uncle Ben Mora was the best. He is absolutely the best. For those who don't know, Deidre Anderson, truly amazing woman, period. This sounds like such an incredible experience. Uncle Ben, we call him, is I don't know if we could say tour guide. I don't know. He made sure we were safe, like she said. He made sure that anything that we need, he was able to provide. He made sure we were on time. He made sure that we slept and we ate. He is just the all around perfect person to guide any tour, guide any group. He just, like she said, it made you feel safe. I don't want to bombard the show from the other host if you have questions, but I do have more questions, so stop me if I am asking too many. But I would like the second cohort to talk about their experience and see if there's any difference there.
I can start. As Lenora was saying, we were supposed to go 2 other times initially in 2020. Then the trip got canceled due to COVID. And then it was rescheduled for the top of this year. And personally, my I ended up having COVID. So I was not able to make the trip. And my positive test results came back late, literally an hour after the flight left. I was really at peace when it went away, even though most people were like, oh my gosh, we're not going, because I felt like God was telling me that it wasn't my time to go. And I really saw that when I went in, when did we go? September 30th through October 10th. The trip was life-changing, literally the best trip I've ever been on. We got to do everything from educational. We went to the safaris, learned about the animals, things like that. We got to do missions. We were out there changing lives. We were able to feed 300 families, which was very amazing. And then we also got to have fun and, go to an all-inclusive resort and get massages and things like that. So we got to do a little bit of everything. I will say being there, it really showed me that although we were there for missions, you can go for vacation. You hear a lot of people talk about going to Africa strictly for missions, but there's so many other things you can do. And then also to touch base on what Lenora was saying about Uncle Ben, he literally made our experience so amazing. Not only was he security, he was family, made sure we were safe everywhere we went, protected us, and taught us new things. Best trip I've ever been on.
Nice.
I just wanted to comment to what Cameron said, because people don't here in the United States, right? We don't necessarily realize just the richness and the fullness of Africa, right? And how much there is there when you're here, because they downplay the country, right? So thank you for saying that, just so people know that there's so much more there than what you see on TV or in the news here in the United States.
Of course. Yeah, the water was so clear and blue. And I've been telling everybody since I've been back, like, you've got to go for just, even if it's not for missions, you got to go.
I would concur, Cameron and Lenora, what pointed out for me, what you said was the feeling of being safe. I think to your point, Tracy, you hear so many, and it's on purpose. You hear so many negative things about Africa and going to Africa. And I love that you both said that it's just, you felt safe the whole time. You felt covered. You felt, best trip ever. Those kind of things. I think we need to really aspire to go to more continents and countries that, not the popular destinations, but really some culture, some history, and really find out, especially for all of us that are melanin, have melanin qualities to ourselves, to find out the motherland, where we come from, where we our origin. So kudos to all of you, and big thumbs up, because I know I would love to go one day with a few guides next to me, but Y'all are just big and bold, and y'all are awesome. Awesome.
I have to say, one of the scariest things to some of these world leaders is if America's best and brightest descendants of Africans ever went back and took our knowledge with us. We set that whole continent on fire, really and truly.
That's right.
So who's next? We got Clarissa.
I wanted to mention.
You want
Sorry. What I wanted to mention about the trip was actually the Masai people. That was, I know Kim and I were always geeking about going to see the We Next participants, We Next mentees, Kenyan mentees, but also like the children, the families, meeting the elders, being blessed by the elders, being at the church service multiple times. It was an experience where the idea was we are going to go do missions and we're going to, do social impact and be social agents and things of that nature. But they also impacted us between learning about their culture, the way of life, the differences, the similarities, and the way that everyone can bless someone no matter where you're from, what age. The little kids. I took a picture of this little girl who just like was decided to show me, and she's like on my screensaver right now, and she was great, and I really miss her. But just being with the people, and outside of the Masai tribe, from the safari, the hospitality, it just completely different experience. Nothing that you will ever. I mean, I haven't been to South America, but I don't think that you would see anywhere in the U.S. or even maybe in Canada or U.S. So it was just a complete different vibe.
It was. It was.
So when you all talk about, you just mentioned like some of the differences and the similarities between you young ladies and the young ladies of the Masai tribe. Just tell us about what some of those differences and similarities were, just so people out there can understand. They're beautiful people also, right?
Absolutely.
Can start with Shantae here.
You want something similar that I noticed, even though that was my first time meeting all the girls in person. We're all individuals, and I've also seen that in the young ladies in the Masai tribe, and nice to be around people who are like-minded and pretty much the same. We have similar personality traits, so that was one similarity. But overall, with the trip, I was supposed to go in January this year as well, but I had I took 2 COVID. My first test came back positive, but I took a test the next day, and that actually came back negative. But everyone was already in Kenya by then, so that kind of upset me. But as Cameron said, it wasn't my time to go. God wanted me to experience it later on this year, within September, and being on that trip, realized like everything does happen for a reason, and I've always had my faith in that. Just really proved it right then and there. I don't think I would have had this experience in January as I did recently, but it was just amazing. All of the people there, and here we don't. I want to say here, but in Philly, where I live, I don't really get to meet kind people that are, human. It's hard to get, and being able to have a sisterhood and a strong bond with all the ladies, just amazing. Safari, just being able to. I've been to Africa. Not many people can say that, so it was
right. That's right. I have to gush over these ladies at that point, at that moment, because I think about both. Because of course I went on both trips, and the first 3 mentees having to, even though they got to go at the appointed time, having to leave their counterparts behind and be the initial readers for this entire group that started out with about between 8 to 10 women. So the 3 of them had to carry that torch in the beginning. And then the 4 had to carry it at the end after some really tumultuous times, the sicknesses, the illnesses. And for, I'm a softie watching them, and Lay can attest to this, watching them sit, some of them sit in the chairs and not be able to get on that plane when we left was heartbreaking. It was literally heartbreaking. But I commend both groups because they showed such resilience. Like those 3 girls just went and they embraced those other 8 girls like they were a tribe of 8 or the full tribe of 16. And then when we went back with these 4, they came with an attitude of determination and embraced those same women with that like they were there in January. So I commend them. Yeah, I've been gushing about you guys. I always do when I'm on the show. We talk about anything we next. When I talk about I'm going to Africa and I'm going with you guys, I am truly blessed to be around you and to see you guys flourishing and blessing these people who may not have seen any parts of what the United States can provide or other people from the other cultures can provide. The Formidable 4. Love it, Aminata. Can we talk a little bit about what happened when we got there, what we found out, and what was laid in your lap when you got there this last time?
And I'm going to say, hold on to that 1 minute so we can go to a commercial break, and then we will come back. Keep that on your mind, ladies, and be ready to answer that question when we come back.
Okay. I'm telling you, the behind the scenes stuff, that's just funny to me. Oh, we look like I was gonna say, did we lose one? Before we left, we talked about what you guys encountered when you got there, the second round, the second team. Tell them a little bit about what you found out from us, what we told you, and what you did.
So on Thursday evening, we found out they told the mentees that there has been a severe drought for the past few months, and it was starting to affect the Masai people's livelihood as far as their cattle dying, not being able to feed their families or their children, and just to survive in day-to-day life. And we were tasked with coming up with a solution. They prompted for, I believe, a food drive. The idea is that we wanted to feed 300 families, which is the Maasai people that the program is tied to. I believe, please correct me, guys, it's Ole.
Yeah.
Olatapese.
I don't want to mess it up. But particular Maasai community, the church that we went to, we wanted to feed 300 families for at least 10 to 12 days. And that's what we did. Thursday night, the 4 of us got together and we created the PayPal link, the copy for social media. We had Cam's mom, Antanya, create a graphic for us. She's also a branding communications marketing guru as well. And we hit the ground running and we raised $6,000. The idea was, please help me with the copy. What's the copy? Is it donate $20 to feed a Maasai family?
Yeah, for it was like a week.
For a week, yes. And that's what we did. So. And then we bagged it.
Yeah.
And we saw videos actually of you guys on Facebook. Dr. D was showing video of you all out there packing the food and just getting to work. And that determination showed even in that video. I wanted to ask you guys, like, where did all of that food come from?
It was from the Quick Mart. We went to the store, or I guess, did we pre-order, Coach Shima?
Well, we told them that that's what we would be doing. We needed to make 300 bags. So, and they gave them the 5 items that, we wanted to put in the bag. So they prepared it for us. Mm-hmm. And then when we got there, we put it together. Sorry.
Wow. I listen, guys, that's no small feat, right? So I just want to give the ladies a round of applause for doing that, because that's no small feat. Like, they raised $6,000 in what, 2 days?
Mm-hmm.
That's huge.
One of the first things I wanted to say as soon as you ladies introduced yourselves when you came on, I was like, you have any idea how much power is on the screen?
That's right, Randy.
I'm like,
yeah,
it's an iceberg of what y'all are capable of. This is amazing. Y'all, oh my gosh. I'm so proud of our next generation.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask Lay, I know she wasn't there for that one, but knowing what happened, knowing what was happening and what they were about to do, how did that make you feel?
Yeah, hearing that story when you all kind of texted us in the group chat, I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is I didn't even realize this was happening over there. Mm-hmm. And so it broke my heart to hear that families were struggling, but knowing that y'all were out there at that time, I knew they were in good hands. And so to hear that, to think about, it's not just the Masai tribe that's going through a drought, it's probably the entire country. And so the fact that y'all were able to raise that much money to pay for that much food, to cover these families for that many days, even that just shows the amount of impact that you've made on the community, that even these markets were able to give enough food to fill that many bags to help that many families. So it's just I'm really so proud of you all.
And now we know why there were 2 trips too, right? Just think about why the 2 trips were necessary. So Cameron and Shantae both mentioned that, God had another plan, right? That was it. I mean, look what happened on both trips. Look what took place. So that's why it was necessary.
Yeah, I feel like that was the confirmation for me why God had me wait, because that was probably my favorite moment.
It was
like feeding, packing the bags, and then feeding the family, seeing their faces. Like, it was powerful.
Yeah.
I would like to also mention, like you said, there was reasons for both versions of that trip. And just from my viewpoint, that first trip, those 3 girls made those women feel like there was nothing different, like there was no cultural divide, like though we live differently, we are no different than one another. Like Lay said, they came to the resort. Some of them had never been swimming before. These girls had them in the pool. They had them, like she said, dancing and singing, which I'm sure they do, dancing and singing in their own culture. But the premise was to give them a little bit of what we do and how we do it here, and just to make each other feel welcome. So it absolutely was a calling for both groups to do something different. And it was amazing. Absolutely amazing. I could gush over you girls all day long. I'm going to give everybody a moment to talk about what they are doing now themselves, and what's the next steps for We Next, if you know, or if you have any.
Sure. Well, I'll start. Right now, I'm going to connect this back to our trip, even because it still touches me. But I am actually a clinician here in Connecticut, and I'm working with youth who are using substances or have some behavioral issues. And I'm also doing family therapy with them. And so, you know, as I go into work every day, I think of our mentor in Kenya, Miss Judy Twala, shout out to her. And she is actually working with substance abuse in Kenya. And so as I'm thinking about how I'm doing that here in the US and she's doing that in Kenya, I'm like, I have to go back. I have to be involved. I have to connect with her in Kenya and see, you know, what resources, what ideas I can give them over there. And even what information I can learn about what they're doing in Kenya to bring back for my work over here in the US. So that is something I would really hope for in my future.
That sounds amazing. I love it. Love it. Oh, absolutely amazing. That's my wonderful candy girl, which is also Miss Lenora's mom. Ladies.
Well, I just launched my third business, which focuses on.
Do that often.
What happened? What's okay? Yeah. So my business. Oh yeah. We focus on strategy, business development, and project management services. Particularly working with startup companies, and ironically enough, also in the U.S. and in Nigeria. And Liberia is also one of. I have a client in Liberia as well, so that's pretty exciting on my end, and
that's wonderful.
This is next as I learn more.
That's amazing.
Did y'all hear that? He said third business.
Yeah.
These young ladies, I tell you.
I'm telling you.
It's their business. Okay, I'll go next. Currently, right now, as I mentioned earlier, I live in Maryland and I work for Radio One. So I create different marketing campaigns for brands to help them increase clientele or give brand awareness to different products that they have. As Clarissa had mentioned, this trip was not only what did I help change lives, but my life was changed. And so leaving Kenya, I told myself that I would come back and do a couple of things differently. One would be to do monthly service in any way, especially as the holidays are coming up. And because we need help here too in America.
Absolutely.
And then I told myself I would come back and I would not say the word starving anymore. Like, I'm starving. And then I also told myself that actually while we were there in Kenya, my mom, who is a marketing expert, we were helping the ladies who manage the Aggrevet on a daily basis come up with different marketing tactics to help grow the business. And so I told myself that I'd keep in touch with some of the girls to try to help them with ideas.
Amazing. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay.
What's next, Doctor?
For me, I said I'm gonna try to do my get more involved with Next and behind the scenes. So I'm creative work. Now, Dr. D. I'm excited about that. I love to contribute wherever I can, and I'm an auditor. So right now, things are kind of slow. So I'll have more time to help out, of course. And then, like Cameron, I don't say I'm starving. I try to encourage. Don't say you're starving. Like, I've seen individuals really, they need food. So I try to encourage the same. And I have her in dance class right now. So I'm just doing my best, busy, doing what I can, and try to inspire her because one day they be a part of We Next. So
that's right. That's right. That's right. I love it. Love it. Now I'm gonna put you guys on the spot really fast because I want to know where you're going next. I want to hear the next location because you guys love to work hard, but I know you love to play hard. So what's next?
Spain and Portugal.
Yeah.
That is one of my top ones, Clarissa. I really want to do Spain and Portugal. I did Portugal once, gotta go again, but I'm going on a cruise for my birthday, so I gotta figure out where. But I have a free cruise to use, so I'm going on a cruise.
Yeah.
When is your birthday?
In March.
March what?
March 16th.
All right, March, baby.
Yeah.
Nice.
Where else? Where to, ladies?
Well, I just got back from Bahamas Monday. That was yesterday. But Spain is on my list, so I can live my cheetah girl childhood.
Which one are you?
I like Chanel. You know, whoever wants to be whoever at this point. Me and my other friends, we were supposed to go this year, but it didn't work out. And then Kenya was more important at the time anyway, so it's like, okay, maybe 2023, 2024, maybe. Yeah.
There ain't nothing like a less than 30-year-old with priorities. Oh my God.
Miss Cameron, where are you going?
So actually, I don't have any trips planned at the moment, but I do know I want to go to Thailand as far as out of the country. But your girl's trying to save so I can get a property soon. So I might be taking a break from trips for a little while.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
But the only trip
Priorities, man.
You know, a little bit. And travel a little bit. I think I'm gonna buy me a house and then I travel again.
I need to save a little bit with inflation.
Absolutely. Well, I'm so proud of you ladies. So glad to have you on. We have just a few minutes left. And I want to know if the ladies of Fem Talk have anything they want to ask, or if you want to close out with anything on your mind. Thailand. Somebody is putting their hands together for Thailand.
I just want to shout out Dr. Deidre Anderson for one.
We all can say that. This entire show can say that.
For starting Women Empowered years ago, and then stepping out and starting We Next and acquiring everything. With any huge project, especially with an international project of this level, there are so many hurdles and obstacles, things we don't know of, things that she haven't shared with anyone besides her, close circle or things of that nature. But the determination, the tenacity, and like just the grace and the faith and we got this all the time mentality is very encouraging, and it's encouraging to see it in action and not just to hearing about it. To feel that vibe and that energy in real time is not replicable. So I just wanted to do that.
I do have a question.
Yes.
How important is it to you guys to have people that are like-minded to bounce ideas off and fill in those gaps that you might feel as you grow as a person?
Oh my gosh, if you aren't speaking my life right now. I mean, in this season, I am really like all set on, superficial friendships. I'm so ready to just have people who are like-minded, interested in the things that I'm interested in. I need you to have a relationship with God, because I need to be built up in that, in friendships.
Yes.
Like there are so many things that I've really been looking for in other women. Yes, it's so serious. I'm just like really serious about who I'm allowing into my life at this time when it comes to friendships. So to be a part of this group was just, what I needed in this moment. And even to go meet the other young ladies in Kenya who have the same dreams as me. And so that was just also very inspiring to go be around like-minded young women across the country. The world.
I just want to piggyback off Lenora. This season has been like the past 6-7 months has been a moment of reevaluating all my relationships, whether like parents to even my relationship with myself, and setting the expectations and boundaries with me and communicating with other people and then filtering that out, because I mean, I'm trying to be on everyone's side. Kim buying property. I'm trying to buy property. I'm trying to pick a state. I want to it's got things to do. And I don't want to get.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That was good.
If you weren't inspired by these young ladies, then I don't know what else we could give you, Fem Talkers. I don't know.
Yes.
It doesn't get
Nothing else. We women can work together, and we can work together in a major way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We are coming to a close for our show. We are so thankful to We Next, Dr. Deidre Anderson, these lovely, lovely ladies here, their coaches, their mentees, the fellow mentees, their mentors, and just to you viewers for coming out to watch us and to support them. Keep your eyes out for these ladies because they are changing the world.
Yeah.
And we are going to be right here watching. Keep them prayed up, keep them supported, keep supporting them, keep rooting them on while they continue to make these major changes in this world. We thank you for your viewership. We thank you for following us. Let's go. Love it. Entrepreneurs, leaders in industry and the community, owners, not borrowers.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen. All right, you guys, tune in next week for another episode of Fem Talk. We thank you, ladies, and we will see everybody next week on Fem Talk Tuesday. See you guys.
Bye.